try and take you back to that markets chat now with the Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers, Makwe Masilela. And Dr. Masilela, I'm hoping that your line has improved slightly. So let's start with question one around the markets this morning. How did they open?
We opened in a negative, just like international markets, Asian markets and European markets, all because we are worried about the Chinese property sector. The issue about Evergrande is resurfacing, so we are too worried about that. And unfortunately, the market didn't act negatively or positively, whatever. It was just muted when it comes to our inflation numbers because that 5% was expected.
Yeah, the interpretation around yesterday's inflation data, Mr. Masilela. The question there I asked you, linked with the first one, is whether or not you expect interest rates to go up earlier than expected.
You know, for the fact that we know that our inflation target is anything between 3 and 6%, and for the fact that we know that the guys are too comfortable when they see the inflation number being on 4.5 or below, but it will all depend what happens to major economies, because we also don't want to be behind the curve. If the guys start increasing much earlier than we thought, then definitely our Reserve Bank, they also have to do something. But the biggest thing here, Goli, is that we all know that interest rates at some point they have to go up. The question is, they're not going to be going up rapidly. So it should be gradual, and that itself shouldn't disturb the markets going forward.
Yeah, let's talk company news. Clicks releasing its results for the year, which ended 31 August, and they declared a cash dividend. Talk us through their numbers.
You know, so far the guys have given back to shareholders almost 2.2 billion in the form of dividends, also in the form of buybacks, and there's a cash dividend of 4.90 cents per share. But we have to be careful here. These results here, they're talking about the full 12 months of COVID compared to the prior period where they only accounted for only 6 months. And given that their revenue went up, the turnover is up, headline earnings as well up 2.6%, adjusted for the civil unrest up almost 8%. That demonstrates how resilient their business model is, and also it shows you that the guys continue to do well in the fact that as well they managed to open more stores, pharmacies, and more importantly, they managed to increase the market share.
Yeah, let's talk Sasol, also releasing, or should I say publishing, its production and sales results for the 3 months ended 30th September. How have they fared?
The guys continue to benefit from the improved macroeconomic condition, also from the recovery when it comes to COVID-19. And as we have seen, that it was almost a 17% increase when it comes to their exports, taking advantage of these high coal prices. And they've hedged almost up to 80% of that in order to make sure that they protect the margins. And when you look at their gas production, it was down 4%, and all because of that campaign when it comes to the drilling of gas. And you look at their fuel as well, production was down almost 14%, but it was expected because of that plant shutdown in September, which was postponed last year. And their chemicals business, you see that the revenue there from external sales increased nicely by 44%, all because of those high average prices that they managed to receive.
Yeah, finally, let's talk about Anglo American and Kumba, which have released production results. PGMs and iron ore production tracking well. How do we interpret their numbers, though, in light of the current strike?
I think it's doing well. You know, look at PGM itself. You know, just looking at Anglo Platinum itself, the guys, they managed to make sure that the Q2 production is the same as last year. And we know that the mines managed to start operating last year at least at 50% capacity. But it was a 6% improvement when it comes to the PGM production compared to Q2 of this year. And there were no fatalities as well. You look as well when it comes to iron ore, the guys managed to increase the iron ore production by almost 15%. So generally, Anglo Americans, they are on track to be able to meet the target, the guidance that they've been giving us for the full year.
Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers, thank you very much for your time, sir, and indeed your help in interpreting what is going on in the markets this Thursday morning.